this. There we go. Oh, yep. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of JWA Fixes, where I can just draw. I don't know why I don't take full advantage of that. But anyway, this is another one I'm making, and here we go. Diplocallus. Let's just jump right into it. The Amphibians. What did I do to change them? So, they've gone over a very big overhaul since the last time you've seen them from their previous video I made. As you can, for starters, they're a lot slower. That's the big thing right now. But I also, I think I completely reworked the original Diplocallus, because it was like, supposed to be like another glass cannon that focuses more on distraction, but then I decided, no, I'm gonna change it. What did I change it up with? Well, first of all, I gave it maximal nullifying counter, which is an ability. It's exactly what it sounds like. It just like nullifies and then deals an attack. Full damage, not half, but full. Less damage than usual. So this I just completely nerfed your speed and your attack, and I gave you a lot more health. I decided there's already Dilophosaurus and Velociraptor and quite a few speedy cunning creatures, but you know, we don't have many medium running cunning creatures. Like the sloth is the only one. I wanted to be a little experimental, like the sloths. They start out super slow, but they're immune to deceleration, and they can also like they have maximal counterattack, and then they can also just speed themselves up with camouflage. I wanted to do the same thing with Diplocallus, where it's slower, but it has like it's bulkier and it focuses more on like other things. Maybe it needs a little more bulk, but I didn't want to give it too much bulk because, you know, it's so fresh. It's a Diplocallus. These things are small. So maybe I probably should have kept its damage. No, but this is a common, so it needs to keep its like small damage. I think this is pretty OP for a common, because that could very potentially deal like 33,000 in a single turn. So yeah. But then if you're up against, so yeah, that's actually pretty strong. So might need a small nerf. Maybe I should nerf your damage to 1,000 if I wanted to. But I'll leave it the way it is. Maybe you actually do need nullifying counter over maximal nullifying counter. But that's just that. Here's Labyrinthodontia, one of my own creations. I've actually, another thing, I've still divided the amphibians into two groups. Just like the crocodiles, where I had alligators and crocodiles. Alligators focused more on like, no, crocodiles focused more on persistent ferocious, while the alligators just had like one ferocious ability and something like that. These guys are like the same thing. We have like our single player amphibians, the Diplocallus line, and we also have the Labyrinthodon, the Coolosuchus line, which focuses more on group attacks. Even though Labyrinthodontia realistically is more, well, I don't know what group it belongs to, but I just wanted to include like, this is a group distraction, group nullifying strike. You actually deserve your higher damage because you only have one attack, really, and the other is just like that. So you're not too great. Oh yeah, I've actually, all of my original creatures that I've designed, that I've made up, I've given them special spawns. Like Labyrinthodontia can only be found with Gigasynths. Like basically, if you just fire up a Gigasynth and then you'll see a bunch of Labyrinthodontia. And I've done that with a lot of my regular creatures as well. I think I'll do that, a little short video just going over every creature I've made up and where they spawn. Oh yeah, also, because they do not have Cunning Strike, if I'm correct, I made them immune to bleed to make up for the fact that they do not have Cunning Strike to cleanse that bleed. Also immune to swap preventation, just for the heck of it. And now we move on to Diplocallus Gen 2, where we have Nullifying Strike, Distracting Impact. I probably could remove Nullifying Strike since you have maximal nullifying counter, but I decided to keep it in there, just in case it's like someone went for like Bellow and then you could have to nullify it or something. It's because again, Nullifying Strike was an ability that was very widespread, but then they've just removed it, and then they never brought, the only Monolometrodon is the only one that has Nullifying Strike now, and I feel like more creatures need it as well. I think your stats are the same. I just decreased your speed in favor of the counterattack, and yes, it's basically the same thing, except now you just have instant distraction and you have more health over damage. And you're slightly faster? No, you're not faster. This guy is... Oh, you're the same. Oh, okay. You literally just have more health. Ah. Kulasuka's Gen 2, Group Nullifying Strike, Group Distracting Strike, and Group Distraction. I think these are just the same abilities. I just added Group Nullifying Strike over Cunning Strike, and then I gave you Maximal Nullifying Counter. I think these stats are the same. I decreased your speed. I know you used to have... I decreased it by 10. This was probably 126 before, and I just decreased it for Maximal Nullifying Counter, and then just gave you, like, the resistances that necessary to make you better. These things you already have a lot of HP. Like, let me just compare real quickly. Kulasukas, where are you? Cool. There's the OG one. Yeah, it's the same thing. I just decreased the speed. Yeah, these things were already really tanky. What the heck? Huh. Very interesting. Okay, now we go back. Diplotator. Oh, fan favorite. I remember you from Jurassic World, the game. You were one of my favorites. Nullifying Strike, even though you have medium nullifying counter instead of like maximal, because you already have a lot of damage. Did I decrease your damage? I think I decreased your damage a bit. I kept your speed the same because of the Irritator bloodline, and everything else is the same. I gave you Swap Indefinite Strike because that's literally Irritator's main thing, and everything else is about the same. And a bunch more resistances actually. Swap Preventation, Vulnerable, decrease, a little bit of bleed. Wow, big thing right there. And then, of course, if I can move that aside and go to Diplotator Gen 2, because I want more Diplotator. I want a better Diplotator. Diplocallus Gen 2 and the regular Irritator, which involves Nullifying Strike, Ferocious Strike, Distracting Impact instead, Fierce Rampage, and Maximal Nullifying Counter. You do only have 1,000 damage, as opposed to like the other one, which had a lot more. That's to make up for the fact that you have Maximal Nullifying Counter and you have Ferocious Strike, which can... Actually, no, the other one had Ferocious Strike too. So you have Fierce Rampage, that's the one. And that can increase critical chance to like 30%. And then increase your damage as well. So, yeah. That's basically all I did for... It's, no art design for Diplotator Gen 2, because it's literally just like... It'll combine the colors of these two, because I really like these two. The design of these two look really good. Fun little bonus, Diplocallus, but I'm pretty sure I covered this back when I did the crocodiles. So, yeah, just a quick look at it. There you go. Here he is, the Kulasukas. Same stats, just decreased your speed in exchange for, like, again, Maximal Nullifying Counter and group... I give you Restricted Group Distraction as well. You're basically the big group hitter of the team, which is why you're not immune to Swap Preventation, because you're meant to be like more of a raider guy. Even though, let's face it, no one's gonna bring Kulasukas to a raid. You do have a lot of damage though, so that's one thing that makes you kind of useful in like regular arenas. You can't take up too many hits, but you'll get off a nullifying count because you're immune to distractions. So if someone, like, let's say someone went for taunting shields for some reason, you'll nullify those shields, and then you go for a massive hit. So that's like... I just realized this thing can do like 4,000 damage on a single turn if it wanted to. Holy smokes. Wow. Wow, that's powerful. And here's Ichthyostega, which follows the single-player bloodline, where it is immune to Swap Preventation, and is also immune to critical reduction, because it has a 15% crit chance. Distracting Rampage, Nullifying Impact. Wow, I put you heavy on the Nullifying, didn't I? Which is strange, because you have max... You'll just be spamming Nullify, basically. I think, okay, that's good. You have a lot of health to stack up to those Nullifies. Only one distraction ability, 2 if you count this one. It's a good creature to have. And additionally, it's like I added another spawn special thing, where it's like, it spawns everywhere, but then during the autumn, it'll have the amount of like a higher spawn chance, about as good... high as coming across a rare, it would basically be. And I did this for a lot of creatures, like Direwolf in winter. I don't remember what the rest of them I did, but there was like, I came up with like 2 epics per season. And Ichthyostega is one of the autumn ones. There's one more autumn one that I do not remember. Oh, doggy, I nearly forgot this dude again. Let's see. Actually, your stats are pretty pathetic, and your speed is high. But I gave you, I think you're mainly carrying over the Scaphognathus line. Distracting Impact, Minor Swoop, Emergency Heal, Swap and Wound, Wounding, No Escape. Did I not? I think I need to boost your attack a bit. But then you do have a lot of bleed. Like here, you got like so many different types of bleeding abilities. And then the weaker you get, the more powerful your bleeds get. Although that heal does kind of... I think I may have to rework you in the future. And by that I mean I'm just going to say I'll do it, but then I never will because I'm not too fond of Scaff Rotator. I don't really care about you. That being... unless people want me to do it. If enough people demand I buff it, then I'll buff it. And then I'll just show it off in like some random short video or something. Or maybe like some random look at all my creatures video. Now there shouldn't be too many from the legendary line. Because I've already... there are already 3 different amphibians from the legendary line. What is it? It's Schoolosaurus, Diplovenator. Oh no, it's just those 2. And they're both really good already. Like they have a niche that fits in. Like Schoolosaurus is what you know what I mean. That guy's really good for raids, and the other guy's really good in single player. And I think this guy carries over. This is Coolosaurus. You all know Coolosaurus. Persistent Ferocious Strike. Group Cunning Impact without that cooldown. Group Cunning Ramp. Wow. I literally just made you the group hitter. With a Fierce Rampage and Nullifying Counter. Not the maximal Nullifying Counter because you already deal. You're pretty useful already. So, yeah. And then no escape. And some good resistances to wrap it all up. The other amphibian I made here is Allotator, which I have a picture of. Here it is. It's not the best design. It's literally just like a Diplotator, but looks meaner and more cartoony. Same types of abilities. It's just as slow, but way more damage than my Diplotator Gen 2. A bigger crit chance. And it has a little more HP, so it can sort of tank more hits as it gets that maximal Nullify counter off. I just realized... wait... oh my gosh, this thing can do over 4,000 damage in a single hit if it wanted to. If it'll survive long enough to get that far, that is. Oh boy, why did I make it so powerful? Despite its predatory ancestry, Allotator isn't as aggressive as scientists assumed. They spend most of their time underwater, feeding on small aquatic species. Yeah, and that is Allotator, one of the few amphibians I made. Now let's move on to some unique ones. I mean, I say that, but none of them are actually amphibians. Diplocallus I've covered in a past video, although it has gone through a small change since you've last seen it, mainly being Pure Infection, which is an ability I gave to another creature, but I'll have to save that for later. Cleanse all negative effects, break shields, bypass armor, attack ×1, bleed all opponents. So then, I'm not going to show the art for if you want to see more of Diplocallus, or at least a previous version of it, go to the Stegosaur video, because it's supposed to be the Stegosaurus animation. Also this guy. We don't talk about this guy. Look at its description. Nobody can take this dude seriously. Nobody. There is Diploceratops, but you're meant to be a Triceratops animation, which I'll cover in a future video as well. But here's just a small sneak peek of it. That sort of just leaves the apexes, where I leave my only Studio Ghibli themed apex, Diplocallus. Picture, it is literally just a Diplocallus with it's just Haku thrown into the body of a Diplocallus. That is literally it. Really love its design, actually. Its stats are a little basic, I'd say, compared to what the apexes have now. I could boost your damage a bit, and I think I'm okay with this, because let's look at your abilities first. It's been a while since I visited Diplocallus. Wild Strike, which just cleanses all negative effects and all nullify all positive effects. Bypass armor, attack ×1. No way of stopping it, basically. Cunning Rampage, which is basically, well, you know Cunning Rampage. I made River Spirit Blessing when they first introduced alert abilities, and I was like, ooh, I want to put that on one of my creatures. So, while it's secure, cleanse all negative effects, increase damage by 25% for 3 turns, 2 attacks, and then heal a small amount. But then, when threatened, cleanse all negative effects, increase damage by 50% for 2 turns, 1 attack. Heal times 1. And then 75% chance to dodge. Holy smokes, I made this pretty strong. Okay, so it's definitely been reworked from the last time you saw it. For starters, it's like, now I think I've made it so that it just heals a little bit. And then with its boosted damage, It's a little confusing. Group sidestep also got a bit of a change. Just I gave it a cooldown of 1. And then medium nullifying counter, swap in distraction, and then all of the resistances that you'd expect. Immune to stun. Ooh. Diplocallus was named after an ancient river god due to its dragon-like appearance. Oh, is that the only description I gave you? I'm so sorry, buddy. But anyway, that is it. That is Diplocallus. Those are the amphibians, and I think I've covered every episode that I've lost by now. So everything else is brand new. So I will let you decide what you want to see next. Do you want to see tortoises? Do you want to see crocodiles? Counterattack theropods? Oviraptors? Who else is here? What else? Do you want to see my wyverns? Do you want to see that next? They've gone through a bit of a rework. There's one of my sauropods. There's who else is here? Gallimimus and friends. And big sauropods. Yeah, lots of options. So comment down below what you would want to see. Also, do I want to show off my... Nah, I'll show off the rest of it later. Thanks for watching, guys. I shall see you in the next episode. Goodbye.